Good evening.
Evening, sir.
A little bit different time and day this week.
Yeah.
Changing it up a little bit. And schedule has been rearranged, which has been a positive thing. As restrictions are loosened with this pandemic that we hopefully are on the back end of now. But it's good to see you again.
It's good to see you, man.
Good to see you. Fist pump.
Yeah.
Welcome back to another edition of C&M Live, Behind the Curtain. With me is Devin.
Hey,
Mr. Vivani.
I'm over here somewhere.
He's probably there's the
hand.
We're these guys are the ones that make this magic happen. I just sit here and do what they're told until it's time for us to begin talking. Yeah. Thank you for joining us again. This has been fun.
It's been fun.
It's continuing to evolve.
Yeah.
This week we're going to be letting you know a little bit more about the projects that we have coming up through the summer. We've made some decisions with this show and ways that we're going to continue to utilize this in our business going forward.
Ooh.
And to keep you guys informed. So we've got some interesting things we're going to be doing. This week we were joined last week by Tom Lazuka.
Man, that was a great interview, brother. I loved that.
He's a lot of fun.
He is.
We still haven't gotten a straight answer on why Michigan can't beat Ohio State.
It's true.
Poor guy. That was a low blow. I should not have went there with him.
That was a pomegranate blow.
It was. This is tough. All right, we got guys loading up on Zoom. Welcome. This week we do have another deal this week. We had Medulla Oblongata by Asylum this past week. We'll continue those deals today.
Yeah.
But beginning tomorrow, we have Jason Jackson says, "You are the most interesting man in the world, Mr. Viviani."
Yeah.
So I do not disagree.
Since he's only a hand, apparently.
Jason Jackson plays a part of today's show, even though he's not here.
Oh, how's that?
I did see him. He did not have clothes on at home earlier. It was weird. I guess the COVID thing's starting to get to him. He had a little shipment that he was dropping off with me. I had to go to his front door, and he forgot to put pants on. It was bizarre. So I'm just joking. Mr. Jackson is, of course, our representative for Altadis USA. Formerly managed one of our stores, the Patton Creek store, for several years. And more importantly, a good friend. So he does not look his age,
right?
Mind you, he is like 56.
Yeah,
and he looks 26. It's disgusting. But anyway,
disgusting, man.
We see that he's with us. So today, yes, we said he plays a part in the show today. So we're clearly featuring Altadis USA cigars.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know what that means, though.
Explain it to us, Jason the Great.
You know, this is the first manufacturer that I was worked with in the premium cigar
industry. Is it really? I didn't know that.
It is.
All right.
I began my career with them. They took a chance on a
that's for sure
dumb redneck, and we had a nice time. I always think you have Nick Melillo with you. That's pretty funny. Yes, you're. It's valid. We might. Maybe we can have him on the show one day. I started the company with them, and I'll be honest with you, I knew a little bit about them because cigar store that I was running in North Alabama, we of course had many of the cigars they smoked, but to the average listener, consumer, watcher, subscriber, as you should subscribe.
You should subscribe. Absolutely.
When we say Altadis USA, you may not know what that means. And they are the makers of iconic brands such as Monte Cristo, Romeo y Julieta,
oh my gosh,
H. Upmann, and that's just to name a few because their portfolio is massive.
I can tell.
I worked with that company as they went through a transition to new ownership, purchased by a European company. I believe it was 2012 or 13. Imperial Tobacco out of Great Britain. Great guys that worked with that company. Didn't know what to expect, and to be honest, and change is always nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
But it was a great transition, and grew to really love everyone who came over to manage the premium side of that company.
Gotcha.
Still great people on board with that company today. So you are familiar with their brands. So when we say Altadis USA, of course, we are referencing the classic brands such as Monte Cristo, Romeo y Julieta, H. Upmann. And Dr. Rodriguez, they do not make GTO. As you should know, that's a wonderful brand that sells well at our stores. That is made by your family, in case you've forgotten, which I'm certain you've not.
The anesthesia.
But But anyway, so we're doing some deals with our stuff. Jason Jackson's giving us some really interesting stuff, and we're going to give away something today.
What?
We're going to give away something.
We want to announce that now or wait?
Leave it as a little teaser. But one is just going to be, we're giving something away based on a contest alone.
Okay.
And the other one's going to be given away based on the first purchase that we have over the phone or internet during this broadcast.
Holy mackerel. You know what
We're
would
going to
help?
try that out.
You know what would help about that phone is if I put the phone number up right now, then you can go ahead and prepare. But you got to make an order, not just call.
That's right. You see that phone number, 205-991-3270. Savannah is working today and joined with Wes up front, 2 wonderful employees here at the store. They'll be ready and willing to help you. Giveaway from Jackson's Bourbon Collection. I wish if you visit him, he'll freely pour it for you. He's very generous with it.
We need to go.
We should broadcast from.
We should do a broadcast from there. That would be great.
We would not get a lot accomplished. We might even forget to start broadcasting if we started drinking too early.
We'd probably set the camera up backwards and do the whole thing backwards.
It'd still be fun.
Yeah,
still be fun. Jonathan Nelson says, "Buy it now." We haven't even told him what he had to buy. That's your verbally, not verbally binding, but that's a binding commitment. There's the Zoom ID, so you can join us. Jonathan Nelson's on. Let me flip the screen so we can see who's switched to gallery view.
Gallery. There's got to be more people than that.
I don't know. Is there
somebody waiting?
It's a different. No, I turned the waiting room off.
Okay.
So we'll see. Join us on Zoom. There's the Zoom ID, as you can see on Facebook Live and YouTube. Jason Jackson says, "Let's do it."
Let's do it, yeah.
Do you know who he got us for next week's show?
Who?
So, the top 25 list is a big deal every year, right? And so, Aging Room, Nicaragua, got the Maestro size, got the number 1 cigar. Hello, sir. Got the number 1 cigar this past year.
Yeah.
And the creator of that brand, Rafael Nadal, will be joining us.
You're not joking, right? You're just going to pull on my heartstrings and then pull it out from under me.
He will be here.
All right.
Rafael's going to join us for basically the entirety of the show. But tremendous knowledge, even better guy. He actually helps Altadis USA with the marketing and manufacture of all of their blends now, which is a great thing. He's got tremendous knowledge and he's a wonderful resource. But we will be featuring next week the number 1 cigar of the year in those brands. But for the next 2 weeks, we're going to be doing deals on Altadis USA products.
Right.
And if you'd like to know what those are, let's pull this on camera and show you.
I like what you got right there.
So, here, you can hold that one and show that. So, here's what happens this week. If you buy a box of Altadis USA products, and all you've got to do, if you're not sure what all those entail, we just told you 3 of the main brands. It's Monte Cristo, Romeo and Julieta, H. Upmann, amongst many others. First of all, you're going to get an ashtray. Okay? There's some things inside that ashtray.
Are there now?
There are. So we got beer koozies, which I think are really cool. I collect beer koozies. You'll get a beer koozie. You'll get a lighter.
A working lighter.
A working lighter. You'll get a cutter. And wait a minute, but there's what else do you need? If you got an ashtray, cutter, lighter, and something to hold your drink, you need that's right.
Cigars.
You need cigars. So if you buy a box of Monte Cristo, you'll get a 5-pack of Monte Cristo White, and if you buy a box of anything else that Altadis makes, you'll get a 5-pack of Romeo and Julieta Reserva Real.
There you go.
So there you go. So that's this week's deal, and then we'll tweak it a little bit the next week, of course, with Rafael on. But we do have a contest for something to give away today. 2 things, in fact. And I'm going to go ahead and give you a preview so you guys can start doing research. But one thing I'm going to give away, when I started with the company, I was trained by a gentleman named Mark Henson, who works the Atlanta market, primarily the Atlanta market for that company. Been with him 30 years. Mark's a tremendous guy. And the Zoom ID, pop that Zoom ID up there. There it is, Joe Brandley. You should have this memorized by now. You're on here every week.
Yeah.
Mark's hilarious, and he's an absolute mess. I love him to pieces. Mark gave me a cigar the first week he was training me that I had not been aware of. Yeah. I'd never seen before in my life. I won't say the name of it right now because that's the trivia question. I'll give you some clues and let you do some research. Google is allowed.
You're going to leave me in suspense on this one, too.
Absolutely. You don't know what this is. Not a lot of people do. But I'll give some clues so people can do some research. And the first person who guesses will win. Let's just show them what they'll win for that.
Let's show them what they'll win.
You will win a travel humidor, a Romeo and Julieta travel humidor. So just for guessing my favorite cigar, what became my favorite cigar that Altadis USA ever made.
When does the guessing start?
That can start now. The first person who gets it right. No, there's no multiples. It's the first person who gets it. And we now know this sounds like an absolute blowtorch.
It does.
On camera.
It does. But that's the charm. It's like a soundbite.
It's like whenever I just want to...
Yeah. You ready?
Mr. Latham, it's good to see you. So if you can guess, and you don't have to guess the particular size. Oh, it's a sword fight now, huh? Yeah. If you can guess the name of the cigar that the first week I began working for Altadis USA instantly became my favorite cigar they ever created.
Yeah. From
clue is it's named after an absolute legend in the cigar industry. A man who was originally from Tampa, Florida, who passed away a little over 10 years ago, I believe, and was the manager of the Villazon factory that many iconic blends were made out of, including, I believe, Hoyo de Monterrey was made out of the big...
That was like 6 clues.
Well, I mean, I'm afraid they're not going to guess. But the first person who guesses that, and Jason Jackson cannot guess, because I'm pretty sure he knows what this is, and you worked for
Joe.
But the first person who guesses what my favorite blend, Jonathan Nelson, that's incorrect. But the first person who guesses the favorite blend,
yeah,
and it's still to this day one of my favorite all-time cigars. And I'll talk about it once we have a winner.
But so, you know what you should do?
What's that?
So you should be logged on to Facebook or YouTube, the primary ones for all the people who are guessing, so you know what not to guess.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So if you aren't. It was not a Castro Blunt.
That's
Mr.
a great
Latham.
way to do that.
Brilliant.
If you're on Zoom, that was perfect. Do that.
Jason Jackson does know this answer. Jonathan Nelson, I'll allow that clue. It has a green label. It is no longer currently in production, Mr. Burnett. That's all the clues you're getting. Let's leave that alone for now. You guys have had plenty of clues. Let's talk about our favorite time of the show when we say that's BS.
What's BS? That's BS?
That's BS. Yeah. I'll tell you what's BS.
Tell me what's BS.
A lot of people. Since we're behind the curtain here, let's tear the veil for a moment and tell people
Harris
the
would
truth.
like that.
Huh?
I don't think Harris would like that.
He's not here. Remember, when he's not here, all bets are off.
These things are
That's why
expensive.
we're doing this deal.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
What a tremendous box deal we're doing for the next couple of weeks with Altadis USA.
And he had the opportunity to stay.
He had the opportunity to stay, but he was afraid of what we were going to be giving away. He was going to have a heart attack.
Yep. So
he had to leave. Someone else knows it, but says he wants someone else to win. Yes. So
what
you guys were. I can't read that. And I'm looking at the reaction of some people, and I'm not sure I want to read it. My word. I've gotten off. Dennis, you got to stop because now I'm all flustered. No. So I'll tell you what's BS. And that's the fact that a lot of people have a misnomer. Altadis USA is a very big company.
It is.
And a lot of times big companies do get a bad rap.
Okay.
People think that it's corporately controlled, it's publicly traded company. It's all about profit and not about the practice, not about the craft, and that's BS. A lot of people get pretty snotty about their opinion.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and I used to be one of. I think we've all been guilty of that in some shape or fashion, no matter what the avenue is. But we all have opinions, and we know what those are all like, right?
Yeah.
But this has always irked me, maybe perhaps because I've worked for the two largest manufacturers in the cigar business at one point in my career, but a lot of people think just because you're a big box manufacturer, you don't make the best quality cigars.
Right, yeah. They're thinking mass quantity.
Of course, and that's BS. It's frustrating because they do have, in most instances, first access to the highest quality tobaccos.
Right.
They have great resources by which to acquire those, whether it be from fields and factories they are. I mean, Jason Jackson says he was also guilty, and he's their rep now. And I do remember, not to make fun, but, when you aren't exposed to it and people don't explain this to you, like I'd like to explain to our listeners right now, you sometimes forget that there are real people working in these factories.
Yeah.
Who are, it's still a handmade product. These are people who are making this product with passion.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that the person working at Tabacalera de Garcia, which is the primary factory in the Dominican Republic where Altus makes most of their cigars, you can't tell me that the person bunching, binding, rolling those tobaccos, sorting those tobaccos, working in the curing bar, you can't tell me that they are any less passionate about what they do than someone who works in a micro boutique brands factory.
Yeah.
Even if they have a factory, if their own factory. Their quality control is excellent. I've been there. So I will never, just because I may have an opinion as a consumer, right? Yeah. A flavor opinion or be influenced by certain types of marketing, I will never insult a person's craft as a result of that.
Yeah.
Anytime I've had a cigar that perhaps the taste wasn't for me, I will say it's an excellent cigar. Mm-hmm. It's a great brand. It just doesn't necessarily agree with my palate. And that's not anything against the cigar.
Personal preference, absolutely.
And I think too often than not, if you're listening, if you just tear the veil for a moment, like just drop the BS for a second. Let's just be real. Sometimes we need to just put our personal preferences aside and look at things objectively with this.
Absolutely.
And they make tremendous cigars. And I will say that when I began working with them, they began to get even more creative with their blends. And they began to get cutting edge with some of the stuff they were doing. And so before, because sometimes it is a little boring when you call certain brands your grandfather's brand, or your father's brand. And I get that. But they've been exceptionally innovating in trying to develop cigars and have done a tremendous, they have developed cigars. Clearly, they got the #1 cigar of the year this year that are more on the cutting edge of what people on the American market's palates attune to.
Right. You got to cater to your customer base.
Which, by the way, we are all smoking. Mr. Vivani has got an H. Upmann Nicaragua.
Yeah.
Using tobaccos from A.J. Fernandez.
Yep.
You were smoking what?
The Nicaragua series.
Of what?
Of Monte Cristo.
Monte Cristo Nicaragua. Which was a top 10 cigar. I think it was last year? Yeah, last year. Not this current top 25 list, but the year before. The number 10 cigar of the year.
Yes,
I'm smoking the Romeo and Julieta 1875 Nicaragua.
1875 was a good year.
It was a great year. Yeah. Who was president in 1875?
I don't know. I lived in France at the time, so.
Outstanding. Well played. You just threw me for a loop there. We're all smoking cigars from Nicaragua, though.
Yeah.
And that's something that I've noticed. I don't know if you have. It seems like Nicaraguan cigars are pretty hot now.
Yeah.
They haven't lost. It hasn't lost momentum.
No, not at all.
And cigars, just like any other of life's pleasures, like a bourbon or Scotch or wine, it seems like there's hills and valleys through the trends and the sales of certain types of them. Right now, it seems like we're really on a peak with Nicaraguan tobacco. Mm-hmm. And so the Aging Room Nicaragua that we'll be showing off next week, got #1, of course, is utilizing Nicaraguan tobacco. Nice. That's what most of the American market was. And to be honest, Altadis wasn't doing a lot of, in my opinion, creative things from Nicaragua. But when they saw the trends in the market and they had new leadership, they started making exceptional blends that were unlike anything they'd ever made. So we challenge you to come in and try it. If you're not completely familiar with, because they have a number of different things, please, our stores are open, by the way. Our stores are open. And we would love to serve you by coming in, and we like making recommendations here.
Absolutely.
Our staff loves recommendations. If you say you watch the broadcast, you want to learn more about what Altadis USA makes, please come see us, and you can ask questions while we're here today. I feel that I'm uniquely qualified to answer those questions, and we have Jason Jackson with us as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Ask away.
But so Jason Jackson is on the absolute cutting edge of what they're doing. But come into our stores and let us show you what they do that you may have never been exposed to.
Yeah.
You might be familiar with the old, but we want to familiarize you with the new stuff that they're doing as well. So, but yeah, that's BS. What's your favorite thing that they currently make that you're familiar with? Do you have a favorite?
I'm really just starting to go through the Monte Cristos like one at a time.
God, they're making so many good editions of that too.
I've had so many in the past week because I've been outside working on a carpentry project. I've been smoking like 2-3 a day.
Yeah.
So, and I'm going through the Monte Cristo series, and I'm just
about halfway where you need to be with that.
I haven't gone through all of them, and I can never memorize them because I'm going through them so quickly. But you know me, I typically like darker cigars. Absolutely. I like Maduros and things like that. And
absolutely.
Theirs has a nice spice to it.
Well, I'll tell you what you would like.
Tell me what I'd like.
And you know what? I'll just hand this one to you next if you want to follow up to that.
Okay.
There's a Monte Cristo Espada Estoque.
Holy macaroni.
You should try that one.
Man alive.
Show the camera how beautiful that is.
This thing's gorgeous.
It's a gorgeous cigar. We have several boxes of, and those are in 10-count boxes, Monte Cristo Espada and the Monte Cristo Espada Estoque.
Look at that thing.
And they have an Oscuro version of that, I believe, correct, Mr. Jackson? Juan Lopez, yeah, Don Diego, Juan Lopez, those are brands that Altadis USA also makes. So yeah, they have a lot, and a lot of brands have gone by the wayside. Trinidad is a big brand. They still make some Trinidads. One of my favorite classic brands there. You don't see it around as often, which is unfortunate. They have a tremendous new blend from Trinidad that came out, I think, at this last trade show. But they're doing some really neat creative things with old brands that had the Cuban names.
Yeah.
Right? So they're in the process. So we got a little inside information.
All right.
This just came in. If you're not watching on Facebook Live or YouTube, I don't think they can see this on YouTube. It seems that Jeff Borshowitz, the owner of Corona Cigar Company in Florida, one of the great retailers across the United States. So impressed with what he does. He also has a tobacco farm in Claremont, Florida.
Really?
Yes, that's north of Orlando. And they grow sun-grown tobacco. It's sunny in Florida.
I love sun-grown tobacco.
So why would you put shade over it? You don't want to cover up that beautiful sunshine. So they grow Florida sun-grown tobacco, and it looks like, according to this tidbit of info, a little inside information, Altadis is in the process of working with Jeff on a Monte Cristo Florida sun-grown.
Ooh.
I can't wait to taste that.
Yes, please.
Yeah, Jeff's growing some good tobacco that makes some of these blends really interesting that they're using it with.
Gotcha.
That's exciting news. So if you're tuning in now, there's a little preview of something you didn't know. That's why it's good to have the insider on the program with us. So you got a little preview behind the curtain of what's to come.
It's like that's the name of the show.
Almost. God, it's great how that works out. And we literally just did it because there's curtains all around us. It's the strangest setup I've ever seen. I want to tear them down, but then we'd have to change the name of the show.
Yeah. That would be behind the walls, behind the.
Let's see some comments we've got here. No one's guessed the cigar correct, by the way, yet. My favorite cigar, Altadis USA, ever created. The cigar is no longer in production. I will even tell you the blend. I remember it. I'll never forget the blend. It was an Ecuadorian Criollo 98 wrapper.
Say that 10 times fast.
It's tough. I talk too slow to do that fast. I can't say anything fast.
I need some coffee.
I'm glad we got some good stout coffee today. I'm drinking. I think mine's 90 proof. 90 proof coffee today. Anyway, it was an Ecuadorian Criollo 98 wrapper. It had a Nicaraguan binder and Dominican and Nicaraguan fillers.
That sounds amazing.
It was such a beautiful cigar. And I smoked there was a size called the Cuban Corona.
Oh, what's the size of a Cuban Corona?
I'll show you one day. I still have some of these cigars. But had a picture of a tobacco leaf on the label, named after the gentleman. And all you got to do, guys, is Google. I mean, it's not that tough. Like, let's just be honest. Like, I'm getting frustrated that nobody's used the Google machine. Who managed the Villazon factory during its heyday when Altadis was developing new blends? Siglo, I think, was the last blend that he did. It was oft forgot about blend. It didn't last long. It was shortly after he developed that blend that I think he passed away. Oh. But the cigar is named after the man who created the cigar.
That's right.
It's the man who was an executive at the Villazon factory from Tampa, Florida, and it's the man's name and the date 1961.
Yeah, you can see all the people on Zoom looking down, going, "I'm gonna type that in right now."
So y'all. What? No, Dennis, that's incorrect.
Close.
So I'm waiting. If you want to give us a guess, if you're on Zoom, you can do as Mr. Latham's doing by constantly writing messages on pieces of paper and show it to the screen. We're watching. And then also, if you're looking at our main platforms, which of course are YouTube and Facebook, please click like and subscribe when you go to those platforms. These are staying posted every week, so you can go back and listen to this nonsense if you'd like to.
I mean, yeah.
Or if you just need to remember what the deal is. Jonathan Nelson just gave a great hint.
Let's see what he said.
Ryan Burnett, you got it. Someone finally. I've been wanting to talk about the cigar, damn it. I mean, it's like I'm just waiting for, it's like, come on, you numbnuts, like somebody get on Google.
So Ryan Burnett on Facebook got it.
Frank Yaneza. So what a legend in the business. I didn't know a lot about him before I began my stint with them. But what an amazing cigar. And they sold well in my territory because I was on a crusade to introduce all retailers to this wonderful cigar. An amazing cigar. Ryan, you win the travel humidor. Looking forward to seeing you back in our stores again, not just as an in and out, but to sit down and have a drink and a smoke with us. Said the Siglo was amazing. That was out when I started. The Siglo was a great cigar. It was underrated. Like, I'll be honest, I liked that cigar. I was always disappointed in the way that it sold because I thought it was better than the way it sold.
So he's going to get that travel.
He's going to win the travel humidor.
You know what you can put in the travel humidor?
I'm not putting anything in there. Don't give him any ideas.
I'm saying like what he can put in there.
What can he put in there?
What he can do is he can come to the store and purchase some of the special cigars we have and put those in there.
And you know what? You just made a great point.
I did make a great point.
You know why? Because let's just say this right now. That can hold 5 cigars, correct?
5 cigars.
First person to call the number right there.
Boop.
Tell Savannah you want to purchase 5 cigars made by Altadis USA. 5 cigars that would normally fill a 5-count humidor. First person to call that number or use our website, BirminghamCigars.com. Make a purchase of 5 or more Altadis USA cigars. I'll give you a cigar for free, but then we'll also give you this beautiful Romeo and Julieta Lotus torch lighter.
Now I'm super jealous.
This is a gorgeous lighter. And
it is.
Most of the time, companies get pretty cheap and they just print stuff like stuff that'll rub off the side of the lighter. No, guys, this is actually stamped into the metal. That's a beautiful lighter, actually.
Yeah. You call in and you get the first person to do that. We'll have Savannah come over here and tell us about it.
Buy 5 cigars. Tell her to ring the bell and let us know. Hey, Dennis, it's about what you've done for me lately. What have you done for me lately, Dennis? Said he bought 10 cigars yesterday at Patton Creek. No, I appreciate that, Dennis. All kidding aside, you're a dear friend. You have a prize waiting. One of the gentlemen that's on the broadcast with us forfeited his prize last week to actually give to you. So I have a nice prize to hand off to you as a result of that.
That's what I love about the cigar community, man.
He's very unselfish. Gosh. And I even tried to give it to him the other day. He said, no, I insist. I saw him the other day.
Man.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Ryan says, wish you could try one. Well, Ryan, there's a possibility we could do that. Dr. Rodriguez, if you want to get on the Zoom code, it's popped up on the screen right there. As you can see, 939-382-0624.
Jonathan Nelson had a really interesting comment up there.
What's that? Yeah, he says, I remember him smoking it back in the day. He wouldn't shut up about it. It was a great cigar, though. Yes. It's true. I was obsessed with it, and I usually generally am pretty reserved about my opinion of things because you try a lot of things. You've been around a lot of cigars. You try a lot of things. It's like, not a lot excites you anymore. That cigar really excited me. Like that was a special cigar.
I can tell how many years now, and you're still talking about it.
It's been 10 years. So
that's a darn good cigar right there.
But right now, I'm shocked Oscar didn't know. He has been on here before. Currently, again, I'm smoking the Romeo 1875. Talking too much because I keep letting it go out. What are you guys smoking? We've told you the deals a couple of times. We've had a winner of a contest. While we're waiting on someone to call in and win that beautiful torch lighter, all it takes is 5 cigars. Call the store number right there or go to BirminghamCigars.com. First person to buy 5 cigars from Altus USA is going to win that gorgeous lighter and a free cigar. But tell us right now, what are you guys showing? Show us on Zoom. Let us know in comments. We want to know what you're smoking this week. It's always interesting to see what everyone else is doing. Mr. Latham, what are you smoking? I see what Jonathan's smoking. There's Doc Rodriguez. He's inside a humidor.
Nice.
And hang on,
Mr. Oscar.
Guess that humidor. Let's see. Which state are you in, Doc? Oh, that's Havana Dreaming. That's Havana Dreaming. All I had to do was to see the gate. So that's our friends at Havana Dreaming in Montgomery, about 90 miles down the road.
Did I ever tell you the story about meeting Oscar for the first time?
No. Would you please tell that story?
Oh, man. I had just started working for Cigars and More, and I see this guy just messing with these cigars. I'm like, I need to get in it. What is this guy doing?
Yeah.
And I go, can I help you with something? And he goes, no, I'm just checking. I'm like, what are you checking? And then, Doc walks up and goes, those are his cigars, right? It's like, oh, hey, man, how you doing?
He's a sneaky guy, though.
He is.
He's a sneaky little guy. He's always got that, eating grin on his face.
He does. He's got it right now.
It's like, look at him. Like we love him.
What am I gonna smoke?
Hey, listen, they've got this store. Great friends of ours. Dave Harwood is the owner there. Dave has a collection. He has a closet that's got a little wrought iron gate inside his humidor that has like some special selections in. And you want to talk about when I was a rep and I used to walk in merchandising my section, Dave would freak out and have a coronary because that back room was just not the humidor itself. It was nice. It had cigars laid over, but that back room was a beautiful disaster of hidden boxes. And when I started prowling around in there, he would lose his mind because he knew it made sense in his mind.
Yeah.
He knew where everything was.
Right.
If I moved a box, he would lose his stuff. So I used to have a little fun with him. But that's a great store. So right now, Joe is smoking an Aroa First 20. Beautiful cigar.
There you go.
My God. Love it. We're still running today the Asylum Medulla Oblongata special. If you buy 5 of those, you get 20% off. That's been doing well. Just 5 cigars. You get more than $1 discount. It's crazy.
I had that one you gave, the 7.
Yes.
Finally smoked that.
Told you.
Oh my gosh, you were absolutely 100% right about that thing.
Unbelievable. It's so much fun to see them go from use the Nicaraguan wrapper leaf on top of their Honduran, their classic Honduran Corojo tobacco.
And it goes great with coffee.
Yeah. Which we're enjoying right now. I hope you guys are enjoying coffee. Herrera Esteli, great cigar.
Joe.
So yeah, those guys are great at Havana Dreaming. That's where Oscar is joining us from right now, and there's clearly he's smoking a GTO cigar, I'm sure.
Oscar smoking a GTO?
I'm gonna smoke a Monte Cristo, but I'm looking for that yellow label one.
How about that yellow label one? So he's talking about the Monte Cristo Classic.
Nice.
Which is a classic.
Is it?
Not just in name alone.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the classic series. That's the original that most people think about. So yeah, they got the classic, they got the white. Monte Cristo's got a lot of the platinum is one of my old favorites that a lot of people forget about. And uses a little bit of Peruvian tobacco in the filler. People, I would challenge some of you to revisit these older brands.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I'll do it from time to time just to try to remember, and it's a lot of fun to go down memory lane. And then you realize, like, wait a minute, this was a favorite. Why did I ever stop enjoying this? Why did I? We like to try new things.
Yeah,
it's
you get so far down the path, you're like, this is where I started. I need to go back.
Absolutely. And in some of these cigars, a lot of times I have, I notice a lot. I don't know if it's the same way with you, but a lot of cigars that I still will try to this day or want to try is because I equate them with a memory.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
When you have an experience with a cigar, that's when it makes it special.
Yeah.
And so with events that we do and going forward, we're going to have a number of events coming up this year. We'll at the end of this broadcast, we'll tell you our format for what we're going to be using this for later. But we want it to be a true experience. We don't want it to just be show up at our store for an event and we have buy 3, get 1 free. We're not going to make you put your pants on to get out of the house just for that. When you show up here at our store and we say it's an event, by God, it's going to be an event. Yeah. There's going to be something to behold. I mean, we're having a mechanical bull for an event, and yes, end of July we got a mechanical bull.
That?
If you're willing to do it, you're not going to catch my fat ass on that bull. I've been on a mechanical bull once in my life, and it took about 1.3 seconds to knock me off.
I find that surprising.
Yeah, Oscar was there. Multiple people on this broadcast were there.
Oscar, do you happen to have a picture of that? Because I'd love to have that.
Those pictures do exist. But today we're talking a little bit about everything, but we're talking predominantly about the misnomer that big box brands don't make as good of cigars as boutique brands.
You know what that is?
What's that?
That's BS.
That's BS. That was the name of that segment. That's BS. Altadis USA, we're going to be doing deals on their cigars for the next 2 weeks. And next week we're going to be joined with Rafael Nadal.
Ooh.
Someone the other day just had to explain to me that this is not the guy. I thought it was the guy that won the French Open like a million times. Who has like 30. Like I was like, I thought there was one Rafael Nadal. I'm like, what are you talking about? But no, apparently this is a guy who actually makes cigars.
Yeah,
I'm kidding. He's wonderful. He's behind Aging Room brand, which got #1 cigar of the year.
There you go.
So we'll be smoking those next week. Hell, we can smoke one right now if we want to. We got some here. Why wait till next week? Why wait? Might walk out of the store right now and get hit by a bus.
Ain't nothing to it but to do it.
You might as well enjoy it while you can. That's why I don't have any whiskey left.
You seem like you're prone to getting hit by a bus, though.
Yeah, it's amazing. You say that, and how many times there's so many close calls that I've had in my life.
Oh my gosh!
I blame it on the coffee. Coffee. Mr. Latham, what are you drinking today?
What coffee are you drinking today?
Oh, that's disappointing.
Lipton coffee.
That's disappointing. I want to see what you're really drinking.
I am working. I am here monitoring the House of Representatives and State Senate at the same time because they're spending billions of dollars.
Well, Dennis, that ought to drive a man to drink, wouldn't you think?
Logic would say so.
Normally I'd be out on my cigar.
Yeah.
And these damn people are still in session.
Hey, Sir Metal, one of the winners, just joined us.
Dennis does some lobbying, and he's dealing. I can't. Dennis is much more diplomatic, I suppose, than I am. I have a lot of respect for Dennis. Dennis.
I have to be. I can't piss anybody off.
That's right. He's very good at reaching across the aisle.
I love you.
Cigar people, the best.
Just remember this. A lobbyist is a person you hire to protect you from the person you elect.
If you didn't hear that on the broadcast, Dennis Latham's with us. He's a good friend of mine, good friend of the shop here. Dennis said a lobbyist is a person you hire to protect you from the person you elect.
Yeah, that's great.
I love that. So, Metal, we are smoking. You're asking what we're smoking tonight, and it's hard for me to realize it. I guess it is night. This is a little bit later than we normally broadcast. Mr. Vivani, off to the side, is smoking an H up in Nicaragua. Devin, you were smoking
The Monte Cristo Nicaragua.
and imagine this, I'm smoking something from Nicaragua made by Altus, the Romeo and Julieta 1875 Nicaragua.
1875.
We were
that was a
smoking
good year.
Nicaraguan tobacco from Altus USA, and we have a great deal this week. We'll show you once again. We're going to give you all the tools necessary to smoke cigars at your man cave, she shed, wherever it is that you're at. We've got an ashtray right here it's a 6-finger ashtray. We're going to give you a lighter and a cutter, a beer koozie to keep your beer cold, and a 5-pack of cigars.
Bam.
If you buy Monte Cristo, you get a 5-pack of Monte Cristo. If you buy Romeo and Julieta or any other brand that they make, you get a 5-pack of Romeo and Julieta.
Just one?
You get all that.
5?
You get a 5-pack.
All
If you
right.
buy a box of cigars.
You buy a box of cigars, you get an extra
You have
5.
a ready-made smoking kit right here.
Yeah.
So if you don't have tools at home, or if you do, who cares? And you can never have too many.
That's
So-
true. That makes what that makes me think about is what you were saying. I think it was last week about keeping your humidor half full.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's something that a lot of people don't realize. You have to keep. It is a great set, right? So, Sir Metal, I don't know if you were tuned in, but we have a contest. We've already given one thing away today. We have a beautiful Romeo and Julieta lighter. This is a very high quality lighter. It's not a plastic lighter. This is a lighter that's going to last a good long while. Made by Lotus. And this lighter, all you have to do is call that phone number that you see on the screen. If you purchase any 5 cigars made by Altus USA, which includes Monte Cristo, Romeo and Julieta, H. Upmann, and a number of brands, any 5 cigars, we're going to give you another free cigar, but you're also going to get this lighter if you're the first caller.
Yep.
So probably need to check with her to see if we've already gotten one.
Yeah, we probably do.
Sir Metal, call that number if you want to buy 5 cigars from them. Very reasonable price. We'll also ship it to you for free. So first person to call. Let's see here. Zoom meeting's ending in 10 minutes. The broadcast will keep going on for a few minutes more after that.
Yep.
Really excited about next week. Going to have Rafael Nadal on the show with us.
Yeah.
The cigar maker, not the tennis player. He also might play tennis. I'm going to have to ask him this.
You should message him, see if he wants to get on too.
Next week?
Yeah.
He's
Well,
gonna,
both of them.
Both of them.
The tennis
you mean
player
the tennis
and
player.
him.
Chances are looking grim.
We could call it Raphael squared.
We sure could. Let's have our people reach out to his people and see.
people.
It's a fledgling little show that 3.5 people watch on average per week, but
Yeah.
still, nevertheless, I'm a big tennis fan. I saw him at the French Open one year.
Did you?
I went to the French Open. I was actually there the year that I watched Andre Agassi, my favorite of all time. Let me mute him. Oscar, I gotta mute you, buddy. Hey, Oscar. Oscar, let's mute you.
I think that's the lobbyist.
All right, we had to
Man, look at all them people.
Rick Payne's joining us. Rick Payne's there playing dominoes.
Domino.
Wow. Oscar, you tell Rick Payne that he can't play dominoes worth a flip. And you tell him I said so. He's showing us a live feed right now and then playing. This is
He's getting them.
Dominoes of Havana Dreaming. Oh, look, the old man's finally looking.
And Oscar, we got you muted right now.
We
so
got
we
you
won't be able to
muted.
hear
I can't hear what you're saying. It was a little too loud, Oscar. If you can, don't unmute it. We can't. The rest of the broadcast was being a little bit
There's Joe.
So yeah, but to go back to it, we should try to get the tennis player. I did get to see my favorite tennis player of all time, Andre Agassi, play his final match in the French Open. So that was we had an unexpected guest, an officer of the law who's a good friend of ours here at the store. I wanted to pop in.
He was truly behind the curtain.
He was behind the curtain. God bless him. Everyone's so ready to use this lounge again.
I know.
It's cracking me up.
I can't wait, man.
People are
really
losing
can't
their
wait.
minds. Scale of 1 to 10, like literally. How over all of this are you?
Yeah.
Like, I'm at 20.
I work in Trussville primarily, and
Mm-hmm.
I miss that lobby being just full of people all the time.
It's a fantastic crowd. If you're watching or you've seen any of these videos and you primarily go to our Trussville store, that's our original store.
Yeah.
That started 14 years ago, a couple of months ago. And what a tremendous group of people. And and it's a testament to you guys there who are there most of the time, because they don't go. We have a big lounge. It's great. Yeah. It's closed off all the way to the back.
Yep.
Completely private. It's a public lounge, but you got a ton of privacy, and they don't want to use it. They want to sit up front.
Yep.
They love interacting with our staff, and I think that's what's great about cigars. Is when you have. That's why a lot of people visit cigar stores. It's because you don't go, because you can get cigars anywhere delivered to your doorstep. We can deliver them to your doorstep. What's special about coming to the store is being able to interact with our people.
Yeah. Come see me. I'm there Monday.
We're a herd. We're creatures who have a herd mentality. We want to be around other people.
Yeah.
When we enjoy finer things in life like this.
Well, that's what I love about the cigar community, because everything drops away. It's just about enjoying cigars and talking about them, talking about life, and all the other stuff of the world drops away, and everybody just sits back and enjoys a cigar.
You just nailed it. I mean, it's like I look at someone like yourself who's from upper class of society and a lower class person like me. Who cares right now, right? Now, when this broadcast is over and we're not smoking a cigar, you'll go back to your upper middle class way of living, and I'll go back to poverty. But either way, at least while we're smoking these, we can come together and be friends. Right. I appreciate that. Fist bump. We appreciate you joining us this week. We're about to wrap it up. Just want to remind you once again that we are doing deals on all Altadis USA cigars for the next 2 weeks. You will see these at our stores, and Jason Jackson with Altadis USA is a great rep. He has provided us, if you buy any box of cigars from Altadis USA, you will receive an ashtray, a lighter, a cutter, a beer koozie, and a 5-pack of cigars. But now I'm not reaching anymore.
I know it's hard. It's hard to reach.
You were smart enough to leave yours there. The only thing I'm reaching for is for one last drink of my coffee before we go.
Cheers.
Cheers, brother.
Coffee.
We appreciate you guys joining us. I'm glad Jonathan Nelson is still here, because he did almost die with a TV almost falling on him in the Trussville Lounge way back in the day. It's a story for another day.
You need to send that to us immediately.
He almost died.
I mean, we saw it. We don't have it.
We're glad he's still with us. But next week, listen, you have to join us. Legitimately.
Absolutely.
You got to join us next week. Rafael Nadal with Altadis USA. Aging Room Cigars it's his baby. That's his brainchild. Got the #1 cigar of the year this year.
Yep.
And he's going to be with us for the entirety of the show. So we're going to have some great deals on Aging Room specifically. Leading up to that, we got great deals on Altadis USA all week long. Devin's got the number on the screen. If you'll just call that number, our employees will assist you. We got you covered. We ship orders for free over $50. And if you're within 10 miles of the store watching, we'll even hand deliver it to you to your doorstep for free. Orders over $50 within 10 miles of the store.
All right.
Devin, next week's going to be fun.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to it. We're going to have a great conversation and maybe even have a tennis player on.
You're going to have to remind me to not get those two confused.
Yeah.
Like I'm tempted to dress.
You're going to ask him, so what kind of racket do you like to use?
It's like the answer's head. That's what the brand I always used.
Okay.
Yeah. Great brand.
You call me upper class, but I don't know anything about tennis.
You don't have to be upper class to play tennis. I mean, look, a redneck originally from Walker County.
Yeah.
Ended up playing league.
Do you know brands of rackets?
Yeah, I did. That's we'll have that conversation with Raphael next week.
Yeah,
we'll throw him for a loop. I'm going to dress
the cigar person.
The cigar guy. I'm going to dress like a.
You should dress like a tennis.
John McEnroe.
Yeah.
I'm going to dress like John McEnroe next week. So tune in to see that. I'll be dressed as John McEnroe interviewing Rafael Nadal, because I'm confused and don't realize that we're talking about the cigar maker.
Yeah.
It's not the tennis player that'll be on.
But we're going to try to get him on.
Another great brand. Join us next week. We appreciate you tuning in. We got great deals for the next 2 weeks on this. Don't forget, today's the last day we're running promotions on Asylum 13 Medulla Oblongata, which we both love.
Yes.
And this is your last day to try 5 of them. It only takes 5 to save 20% off. This is your last chance. So thank you for joining us. What is it that you always say before we leave?
Well, I got 2 things.
No, 2 things.
Right now, we get some help of everybody online. Do us a favor, if you like the show, get ready to smash that like button. If you don't like the show,
smash it.
Hit it. Hit the down. We need to know. We need the analytics.
We're all frustrated.
Yeah.
We want to smash something anyway.
So,
It might as
yeah.
well be the like button.
So in 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, 1, smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Please share it around.
We just got 53 likes just then.
Look at
based on
that. I know. It just skyrocketed.
Crazy where I pull these numbers from.
I know. And you always remember, to smoke is human. To smoke a cigar is divine.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us again this week. We look forward to seeing you next week for a really big show. In the meantime, click like and subscribe. Please look at our website, BirminghamCigars.com, at the great selection. And we got a lot to talk about. Can't wait to see you next time. Thanks for joining us.
Bye, y'all.